Hello. I have all kinds of ideas for videos I want to do, and I'm presumably going to do them at some point, maybe. But I have this criminally huge stack of vinyl here. Now, the last time I posted one of these vinyl updates was about 5 months ago, so almost half a year. Because I live in, constant guilt that I buy so much of this stuff. But it's like the more I sit on it and, feel like a bad man, the larger the pile is going to grow. So I feel like we should just get into it and address the pile and get through it, and then we can move on with our lives. All right? So I don't know how many are here. I don't know if it's like 40 or 50. I don't know. Feel free to count along at home. But let's get through them. All right. So these two here are my most recent acquisitions. Van Morrison, A Sense of Wonder. Not my favorite record of his from this era, but a solid record. Tore Down All the Rimbo is a great song. And Honky Chateau, Elton John. Um, well, yeah, Rocket Man, Mona Lisa's, and Mad Hatters. Think I'm gonna kill myself. Real solid record, and it has kind of cool packaging where it has like this tab here, and you undo the tab, and it opens this way, like that. There are all the lyrics. I've never seen that before with the tab, so I don't know. I thought it was neat. All right, so now this is all just a big mix of stuff. I think most of what we have next are the things I picked up on Record Store Day. So let's get into that. There were two Brian Wilson related vinyl packages on Record Store Day. This one was the harder one to find, but I was very happy to see. My local record store, I think it opened up at like 8 a.m. and I didn't get there until, like noon or so. And they still had a couple of copies of this, which is crazy. I guess nobody wanted it, which is, fine with me. So this is Brian Wilson on tour from 1999 to 2007. It's got a really cool list of songs. It's got what does it have? Heroes and Villains Melt Away from his self-titled solo record. Busy Doing Nothing. That's one of my favorites of his. He does Forever on here by Dennis in tribute to him. Meant for You and Friends. She's Leaving Home by the Beatles. And this vinyl here, this is on a nice kind of gray splatter there, as you can see, all kinds of colors in that. So I was very happy to get this one. I thought I was gonna have to pay like a million billion dollars for this on eBay. So that's nice. Go back in, fucker. Okay, okay. Okay, everybody calm down. I put it in cyber. See, I'm trying to go too fast. Guys, you gotta just slow down. This is gonna take as long as it takes. It's gonna take a long time. All right, Swamp Dog gets his pool painted. I'm a big fan of Swamp Dog. Very idiosyncratic singer-songwriter. And a lot of his albums are very difficult to find. So I was very happy to see this one get re-released. The inner sleeve, you got a little write-up about the album and the session information on there. Then the record itself is on pink vinyl. hmm He does this song he does this song on here, Please Let Me Go Around Again, with John Prine. He also covers Sam Stone on here, which he'd covered much previous to this on an older album, and that was his like quasi hit, like his cover of Sam Stone is probably the thing that got him on the radio most often. So they do this song together about mortality and, if you could do it all over again, would you? And it came out after Prine died, or at least I heard it after he died, and it was just like a really impactful kind of way to say goodbye to him. So I love that song. That song there. This is Joni Mitchell for the Roses. This is her alternate version with this artwork on here, which is fantastic. I'm so bad at showing off artwork. But yeah, this is it's so cool. It's beautiful. She painted all this herself, obviously. And this one is on red vinyl there. I actually think I have the original version of For the Roses in here somewhere too. We'll get to it eventually. All right. Found Dogs by John Prine. This I was really excited to hear about because this album, Lost Dogs and Mixed Blessings, I really like this album. It has some really good songs on it, like Humidity Built the Snowman, especially Lake Marie is one of my favorite of all of his songs. But I think the production on the original album was a little like overbearing. So this is like alternate kind of like acoustic versions and demos, so I'm really looking forward to giving this a listen. I think it will be probably an improvement on the album that was originally released. Um, they only had, a couple, one or two copies of the first Brian Wilson record, but this one they had a bunch of copies because nobody wanted this. This is Imagination. This was his third solo record, if you count I Just Wasn't Made for These Times, which you should. Even though it's basically a soundtrack record. It's a record. Whatever. Um, but yeah, this is kind of him going in a bit of a adult contemporary direction, which I know is not for everyone. It's usually not for me. But I just there's this wonderful songwriting on here on the title track and on Lay Down Bird, and that's a great one. And it still has some experimental moments, like Cry, which is one of the few songs on here that Brian wrote all on his own, and you can tell because it's one of the most interesting things on the record. Um, and then there's a song on here called Happy Days, which is kind of a redo of this legendary Beach Boys outtake called My Solution, which is about like a mad scientist testing an immortality drug on his dog. But this he rewrites it here, and it's just kind of about life and getting by. It is no longer about a mad scientist, which is, it's kind of a bummer, but it's a fantastic track. And he does a couple old Beach Boys songs on here. The only song on here that I'm really opposed to is South American, which was rewritten by Jimmy Buffett. And does this have the lyrics? Yeah, it does. There's a few lines in here that are particularly egregious. You only get to heaven if you chase your dreams. Let the paparazzi flash, let the tabloids scream. I've been around too long to care what anyone says. I'm hungry and I'm doing lunch with Cameron Diaz. So that's not great. Um, yeah, Brian's best co-writers, you can see a lot of his themes in there, even if he didn't write the lyrics, because they write lyrics for him from like an empathetic point of view. Like they try to capture his perspective on the world. And Jimmy Buffett was not able to do that, unfortunately. Is this one on colored vinyl or anything? No, it's just on black. But this might be the first time this was ever on vinyl, or just it wasn't on vinyl for a very, very long time. I'm not sure. Um, this is the debut record by uh, Jackson C. Frank. Um, really nice folk record produced by Paul Simon, which I actually didn't know until I picked this up. That was cool to learn. And in here, it's got a bunch of write-ups about the historical implications of the record and his career. It's also got a bunch of bonus tracks on a separate vinyl disc here that were not on the original album, and I think, is this on white? No, no, no. Is this on black? I'm not going to show you black vinyl. Everybody's seen black vinyl. Black vinyl is old hat. All right. Um, this is Harry Nilsson's soundtrack to Popeye, but specifically, this is the demos for Harry Nilsson's soundtrack to Popeye. Um, which I recently went through all of Harry Nilsson's stuff, had a really good time. And when I got to Popeye, I saw that on streaming they had a second disc with all the demos on it. So I enjoyed the soundtrack with all the actors singing and everything. But when I listened to the demos, it really like blew my mind. Like I absolutely loved the demos, and I loved, like how homemade it all felt. It just lended the songs this, this beautiful energy. So somehow they released on vinyl just the Popeye demos. This is very niche, I would imagine. But um but it's for me, and I was incredibly excited to be able to pick it up. Go back, go. All right, what else? Oh yeah. Yeah, Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions. Fantastic record. Living for the City, Higher Ground. Yeah. Nice gatefold. The back. Wonderful album cover. Love that record. I also love this record, Red Rose Speedway by Paul McCartney and Wings. I first listened to this record fairly recently, and it really it's wonderful. It's one of my personal favorites of his, and it comes with this kind of built-in little booklet here, which is very cool. Eh, Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so this is something I picked up mostly for historical reasons. It's Yoko Ono walking on thin ice, and it says for John on there, and then on the back it has this really nice little write-up. This was the first thing Yoko put out after John was assassinated, and it was the last thing that John ever worked on. They got together in the studio together and recorded this thing, and they were really excited about it. John really thought it was going to be a hit, and there's this just beautiful write up here about, the conversation they had about it, and about how she was, an artist that people were going to have to start taking seriously now, and all of this. And it's just really nice from a historical point of view to have this. Yeah, more Stevie, music of my mind. This was one of the early ones where he began to take a lot more creative control over his material. It's got Superwoman, it's got Evil, got a lot of great stuff. It's also got a gatefold. There you go. Daniel Johnston, Artistic Vice. Um, Now I do believe, I don't think this was on a major label. Maybe it was. I know the one before this, 1990, was on a major label, and he definitely didn't spend a lot of time on a major label. But this was when, regardless, he was getting, a little bit more exposure for his work. And this is a wonderful record. It's got My Life is Starting Over, Honey, I Sure Miss You, Lori. It's got a lot of beautiful songs on it. And this version of it comes with a whole other disc of demos and rehearsals and outtakes. Got this nice gatefold there. Eh. Um, okay, random Modern Lovers live set. I'm pretty sure this is a bootleg. But it has a bunch of songs on here that, either, never got recorded, or, are just super obscure, like Someone I Care About, Dignified and Old. And it's got, all the classic ones you'd expect, like Modern World and Roadrunner and Hospital. Yeah. It's cool to hear them at this point in their career when they were just starting out and doing something that nobody else was doing. Like every version of Roadrunner that I've heard is kind of like radically different. Like Jonathan Richman would just you know go off on all these tangents and improvise, and a lot of times they're like very beautiful and really enhance the song. So I'm looking forward to that. This was like an impulse buy. I've never heard this, but I couldn't leave the store without this. I was just like drawn to it. This is The Big Problem by Crispin Hellion Glover. Um so Crispin Glover is, as you probably know, top-notch actor. Was in Back to the Future. And yeah, this just looks absolutely bizarre, and I felt that I just had to know what a Crispin Glover rock album sounded like. It's got a big poster here. It's hard to show off posters on camera, but there you go. Really interesting, odd artwork, as you'd imagine. And this is on this red and blue splatter. So yeah, I still haven't listened to this yet, but just looking at this side, um, we have a cover of the traditional song "The Daring Young Men on the Flying Trapeze." We have a cover of "Never Say Never to Always" by Charles Manson. We have four tracks in a row that are selected readings from Oakmont, and then we have three tracks in a row that are untitled. Um, he does "These Boots Are Made for Walking" on here. There's a song called "Clowny Clown Clown." I don't know. This is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Like, even if it's not good, it's gonna be fascinating. And I just needed it in my life. Um, Now this was from a record store downtown that they were at risk of closing down, and they had this big event, so I went there and spent some money, and then they ended up closing down anyway, sadly. But before they did, I was able to purchase the soundtrack to Licorice Pizza, the wonderful film by Paul Thomas Anderson, gatefold. And then on the back, it's a cool comp. There's stuff by like Nina Simone on here, Paul McCartney and Wings, David Bowie. Um, there's a little bit of original music by Johnny Greenwood. He didn't do like an extensive score to this movie, but he did record a couple of pieces for it. Um, Actually, this was kind of the movie that got me into Paul McCartney. I used to be like kind of a Paul McCartney hater. Like a lot of people think that he writes, very sentimental music for babies, and I used to kind of be like that. But then when I heard "Let Me Roll It" in this movie, I just couldn't get it out of my head. It was stuck in my head for like a few months, off and on, and that's what caused me to just reevaluate Paul and super get into his stuff. And think I think this is on red. Yes, it is. Yeah, check it out, translucent red. And there's some nice artwork on the record sleeves themselves. There you go. Eh, red. Check it out. Lovely. Yeah, you gotta watch me put everything away. I'm not over here making a mess. You know. Gotta keep it. Gotta keep it. Gotta keep it. Gotta keep it neat. Keep it organized. I can do it. Um, Random Cat Stevens record, Catch Bullet 4. Now there's no track listing on it, and it was wrapped up when I got it. And, I was just like, well, I think this is one of those classic Cat Stevens records that I'm sure there'll be a few things on there that I'm familiar with and love. And when I got this home and checked out the track listing, which you can see there, um, I'm pretty sure I've never heard any of these songs in my entire life. So, I mean, that's even more exciting, Check them out. Maybe I'll have a new favorite Cat Stevens album. Wings, London Town. This was this the final Wings? No. I think Back to the Egg was the final Wings album. This was one of the last Wings albums. This is a wonderful record. It just flows really well together as a piece. Like it's one of those records that almost feels like a concept album, even if it's not. And Paul takes some interesting risks on here, on like Girlfriend and Morse Moose and the Grey Goose, which is like some kind of crazy sea shanty. Very interesting record. I enjoyed it a lot. And there was Paul, Linda, and Denny, which were the three who managed to hang on through Wings's entire run. They were the only ones who made it that long. Son of Dracula, Harry Nilsson's soundtrack. This is not like the most exciting album because most of these songs are on other Harry Nilsson records. Daybreak is basically the big song he wrote for this, but this was a film he and Ringo Starr appeared in as actors. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't heard great things, but I just, this vinyl package was like so neat that I couldn't say no to that. I couldn't say no to It's super cool. Uh, Random beat up copy of Burt Bacharach's soundtrack to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid with Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. When I was in Mexico City, um, I would say the song I heard mariachi bands playing the most was Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. I think I, like no exaggeration, heard it like 5 times. So that was interesting. The Pretender by Jackson Brown, one of his uh, classic records, with, of course, the title track and Sleep's Dark and Silent Gate and all kinds of wonderful songs. Linda Paloma, Here Come Those Tears Again. This is just a great era for his music, of course. Um, Paul Simon is still crazy after all these years. This is not my favorite era of Paul Simon's music. I like him when he got a little older and a little weirder, but this is a very nice record. I was a little harsh to this when I listened to it originally, just because I want to murder 50 ways to leave your lover. Like that's got to be my least favorite song Paul Simon ever wrote. But it's got a lot of wonderful stuff. It's obviously got the title track, Still Crazy. It's got what, Gone at Last, Some Folks' Lives Roll Easy, My Little Town, which was his like micro reunion with Garfunkel. So yeah, it's a good record. I keep hitting this thing. I'm sorry. Tug of War, very solid solo record by McCartney. It has Ebony and Ivory on it, which is, a song I used to super hate when I was not a McCartney fan. But this last time when I listened to it, it's not bad. It's a little hokey, but it's a nice song. And this has Here Today, which is his beautiful tribute to John after his passing. It's got Wanderlust and Take It Away. I don't know. It's got a lot of good songs. This is probably his best solo album of this era, at least full band. I mean, it's no McCartney 2, but it's, of the full band kind of 80s-y releases he put out around that time. This is my favorite of those records. Hootenanny by the Replacements. I have a couple of vinyls in here from Vinyl Me Please, which they always do beautiful editions of these records. It's kind of a bummer. They've been trying out this new structure where um, they basically don't have a website. You can just go on the website to see like the latest catalog of releases, and you do everything through your phone. Like your phone is where you tell them what record you want and all of this. and you give them your information and all of this basically through texting, and it just wasn't working for me. It didn't make me comfortable. I didn't know like when I was getting records and when I wasn't, and it was weird. So I stopped. I stopped with Vinyl Me Please, but I would very excitedly rejoin Vinyl Me Please if they will actually have a website and stop being so complicated and weird. But yeah, this is their version of Hootenanny, which is they did a wonderful job as usual. Comes with this booklet here with all kinds of info about the record. Not much from a visual perspective, but fun to read. And then the record itself, nice thick pressing, comes on this sky blue vinyl there. I hope I can come back to Vinyl Me Please. I like Vinyl Me Please. Oh god, I really fucked this one up. Oh god. Oh no. All right, we're gonna have to come back to that. That's gonna take too long. This is another Vinyl Me Please. This is their version of Bright Eyes' "I'm Wide Awake It's Morning," which I do believe recently had some kind of big anniversary. And this one, once again, comes with a nice booklet with all of the lyrics and some information about the record. It comes with this nice insert here, and see, this is a gatefold, but the record isn't long enough for that. So basically, they put all of the extras. They put what I just showed you into the first slot in the sleeve, and then oh my god, everything is breaking. And then the actual record itself is over here, and it's on this beautiful translucent deep red vinyl. Lovely. Get the get 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 the fuck in there. Jeez, fuck you. All right. There's gotta be a better way. And we need to improve record sleeve technology. Um, Another random Van Morrison record, Hard Knows the Highway. Underrated record, I think. I think this record is cool. Snowing, San Anselmo and stuff, and Warm Love. It's a good record. I don't know. People are dogging on it. And it's got, which I love, it's got that wraparound art where the front and the back art come together, much like my favorite album art of all time on the seminal Fleetwood Mac record, Mystery to Me. And then over here, see, it's kind of cool. Like the front cover opens up, and then here you have, so it's not like a gatefold, but it's more like opening a book. And then here you have lyrics and session info. Cool. Okay, there was, what was this? I don't know. This was like a pre-order or something. I forget when I picked this up, but it's the soundtrack for Weapons, a recent film which I loved very much. It's a cool package. It's got this lenticular sleeve on there, and gatefold. And then the record itself, oh well, it comes with this nice insert with this nice picture of Aunt Gladys. I'm so happy she won the Oscar. I really didn't think she was gonna, but it was a relief. And then once again, this is on kind of a deep red translucent vinyl, but this one kind of has a white swirl in there, as you can see. So lovely. Then we've got this recent anniversary remastering of the Mountain Goats' The Sunset Tree. This is probably like their most polished like radio ready record, but it's got a lot of very emotionally charged, very intensely personal songwriting on it. Basically, John Darnielle talking about growing up with his abusive stepfather. Um, this it has this inner sleeve here, and then the record itself is on orange. It's a beautiful record. Highly recommend. Okay, this was my friend Dylan's record store. They were having a sale of some kind, and so I decided that I was only going to buy white vinyl from them for some reason. I don't know why. It was just like I saw a bunch of white vinyl I wanted, and I was just like, "Ooh, it can be a theme. I can buy themed vinyl." Um, I don't know what's it called. Vinyl tap, because it's Spinal Tap, but it's Vinyl Tap because they have beer and things. I'll put the link down there if I remember. I'll remember. Um, but yeah, so I purchased four pieces of white vinyl from them. The first was the Weezer Seasons Winter LP, which, as you can see, is on translucent white vinyl to match the winter aesthetic. Then we have the Her soundtrack by Arcade Fire. Got a little message to the listener there, and that is on super white vinyl. Then we've got um, this random um, Drive-By Truckers live album Black Ice Verite, which also comes with a DVD in here. And this is also on white, as you would expect. Is the DVD in there? Yeah. Nothing special with the DVD packaging, but it is included. Drive-By Truckers always had such beautiful album sleeves. I think the guy who drew all their artwork passed away, I believe, but he did such cool work. And then here's where I fucked up because this is the last one I bought, the Poetry in Motion EP, which has what does it have? Like Body of an American, Rain in Soho, uh blah blah blah, Rainy Night in Soho. Yeah, I know songs. But as you can see, I fucked up because this they said it was green and white swirls. So I was like, that counts as white. There's white in it. And as you can see, there is a very small amount of white in there. It's like mostly green. So I fucked up. I wasn't even able to accomplish this, but I did my best. Now I got this as a proud charter member of the A24 fan club. I get a free gift every year on my birthday, and this year one of the things they were offering was the soundtrack to the film Love Lies Bleeding, which is a really cool movie if you haven't seen it. And it's a soundtrack by Clint Mansell, who's one of my favorite film composers. So this was cool to pick up. Um, Nice artwork on the sleeves. And I think this is just on black. Yeah, yeah. But very cool. Get in there. This is like not a thing I probably would have bought on my own, but for free, I was super pumped to get it. It's a very good score. This was my throat. Drink. I gotta have a drink. I'll just leave this in. Fuck it. Reissue of Robin Hitchcock and the Egyptians' wonderful record, Globe of Frogs. There you go, gatefold, man. And then the vinyl itself is on this lovely shade of green, swamp green. And it also comes with this nice insert, which has some lyrics and some words about the making of the record. Yeah, all those Robin Hitchcock and the Egyptians records are super strong, but this is, I would say, one of the odder ones with like Tropical Flesh Mandala and the title track and Flesh Number One. But it also just has some really pretty stuff like Vibrating and Luminous Rose and Chinese Bones. It's got Balloon Man, which is probably one of his most popular songs. So yeah, lovely. Also, this anniversary copy of Separation Sunday, which is my favorite Hold Steady record, full of lore. One of the videos I got coming up, I want to start doing breakdowns of album lore, and I'm definitely going to do an episode on the Hold Steady, which will focus on this record and Stay Positive primarily, because those contain most of the lore. Um, they kind of have an ongoing thing going on. Um, Not so much anymore. It kind of ended after um, Heaven is Whenever. You could argue it's on Teeth Dreams a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this is it's a beautiful package, and I was really happy to pick this up because it comes with like a whole disc of B-sides and rarities. It's on this nice splatter vinyl, as you can see, and the other disc there, lovely. We've also got Jarvis Cocker. Um, what's this called? Further Complications? Yeah, Further Complications. Um, Gatefold. This is my favorite solo record of his. It's kind of dance influenced, but it's interesting because it was recorded with Steve Albini, so it has kind of a very unique aesthetic to it. He didn't do a lot of like dancey stuff, you know. And it has an extra vinyl disc for "You're in My Eyes" disco song, the final track, because it's so long it couldn't fit on on the record. Um, but yeah, this is also on white. There you go. And then this record, um, which has I don't think you're going to be able to see this, but it has basically it has the final track on this side, and then on this side there's an etching of Jarvis's face. You probably can't see that. Maybe from that angle a little bit. I don't know. It's nice. Disco song. Right. Don't want any dead air. Gotta keep it, gotta keep it, gotta keep it moving. Gotta keep it entertaining. Okay, yeah, so here's the original version of For the Roses. The new artwork is so much better. This is just kind of a, not a terribly exciting album cover, but it does come with some nice original art from her on the inside. And lyrics there. It's a great record. I mean, Blonde in the Bleachers, You Turn Me On My Radio. It's got lots of wonderful stuff. But I do prefer my new record store day version. More Weezer Seasons. This is spring. I really got to pick up summer and fall just to have the complete set. But spring and winter are probably my favorites. It was a kind of an inconsistent project, but it had some cool stuff going on. And this one is on light green, appropriate spring color. I might have also picked this one up in my quest to get a bunch of white vinyl. I think I did. But this is Jeff Tweedy's solo record, Love is the King. Very nice record. Comes with this insert with the lyrics on it. And then, oh, yeah, well, this is on kind of a white, kind of a gray, kind of splatter type of dealy. Lovely. I really like that song, Gwendolyn, on here. All right, this is a soundtrack to the kind of quasi documentary Pavements. This was a really interesting movie, um, because it's 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 a documentary, but there are like three tracks to it. Like there's one track where the band is getting back together to play some reunion shows, and then there's this other track where these theater directors are trying to direct a ballet based on the songs of Pavement, which I'm pretty sure was a real thing. And then there's this fictional component to it, where they're making like a biopic about Pavement, like a fake biopic. It was never actually in production. And Joe Keery from Stranger Things is supposed to play Stephen Malkmus. And part of it is that he like studies Stephen Malkmus so deeply and he gets into him so completely that he can't get out and he's like trapped in Stephen Malkmus. And even though like he doesn't like when he's just basic. He doesn't change at all. Like he doesn't, and he does it on purpose. Like there's nothing Stephen Malkmusy about the way he plays Stephen Malkmus. He's just being like Joe Keery saying Stephen Malkmus related things. But that just makes it. They're basically making fun of method actors and stuff, which is fun. But yeah, it's a double vinyl set, just black vinyl. But it's got all kinds of stuff on here. It's got stuff from the jukebox musical slash ballet that they were trying to put together. It's got live stuff from their reunion tour. It's got movie clips from the scenes where they're trying to put the biopic together and all kinds of stuff. It's like just as like hectic and all over the place as the movie is. So that's fun. This is a live Hail to the Thief record. I basically just got this because Hail to the Thief is one of my favorite albums, and I wanted this sick holographic version of the artwork. But it's nice to have the live recordings too. It's on this dark red. I still don't own Hail to the Thief itself. I gotta get that. Um, More Joni. This is her on the Rolling Thunder Review tour, which if you don't know, was Bob Dylan's backing band on the Desire record. And it's my favorite live stuff Bob ever did, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they enhanced her material too. It's got some of her kind of jazzier stuff from a bit farther in her career, like Edith and the Kingpin and Harry's House and stuff. So I think that'll be a really interesting fit for that band. Um, is this just on black? Yeah, it's on black. Oh, that's what it looks like. Keep it moving. Eh. Um, All right, just a couple more. This is a John Cale record. I have been diving John Cale. I stopped about halfway through. I got to get back into it. But this is a cool record. This is like a largely solo record where it's just him on keyboards. And I thought it was really interesting, had a really unique aesthetic and vibe to it that made it one of my favorite of his. There you go. Got a Z on it. I don't know if that's for Zorro or I don't know. I don't know why that's there. Okay, and last we have whatever this is fucking called by Electric Worms, Music Die für Zoetwerk by the Electric Worms. This is basically just Flaming Lips. It's a side project from around the embryonic and the tear kind of days. And if you love embryonic as much as I do, this just basically sounds like more embryonic. So I was happy to discover this, and it is on this translucent purple vinyl. So yeah, that's about it. How many records was that? Should we count? All right, one, two, three, four, five, six, and some of these are like double records too. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm sure this is thrilling. 18, 19, 20, 21. I'm fixing this. I'm What happened here? This is awful. What have I done to you? You were such a nice set, and then I ruined everything. What am I on? 21? 20, I completely forgot. I completely forgot. What, 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 what? Okay, I think this was 21. I think this was, oh my God. What is wrong with you? What is fucking, go in. Go, ah, into the fucking, God damn it. It's still not, I didn't do a good job. Jesus Christ. Leaving all this in. You gotta feel my pain. Come on. Come on, you fucker. Still a shit job, but it's the best I'm gonna do. Alright, I think I was up to 21, but I'm not totally sure, and I don't want to start counting again. So let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So that's like around 55 records or something. I don't know. Take the number I just said and add it to the first number I said that I don't remember. And that's how many records this is. So, bye.